Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. My guest tonight is Tommi Parrish, whose new book, The Past is a Grotesque Animal, is recently released from Fantagraphics Books. How's it going, Tommy?
Going great. Yeah.
Going great.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to start with the weird question, just because I happen to have read all three of your books
Mm.
in like the last couple of days, and I'm used to seeing roughly the same author blurb at the end of it, rather than blurbs where people live in three different countries in the
Yeah,
span
it's
of
been a
three
really big couple
books.
of years.
So talk to me about your globe trotting.
Oh, well, I am from Melbourne, which is where I'm living at the moment. And I lived in Montreal in Canada for a few years. I followed a friend over there. Um, and then I followed a different friend to America, and I lived there for 6 years and just moved back.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it was a lot. It's been a lot the last little while.
You chose a good time to move away from the United States. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to put that out there. You chose a very good time. And you're in Melbourne, which isn't, I'm trying to remember, it's Brisbane, right? That's we have a regular contributor.
Oh,
Um, she's part of the Love and Rockets book club, and she describes that area as the MAGA country of Australia. So you're in Melbourne, so
God.
not
I'm
the
in
MAGA
Melbourne.
country, not
No,
the MAGA country of
Melbourne's
Australia.
like hip and everyone moves
Right,
here and
right, right, right.
yeah.
No, she's frustrated that it's become kind of the way it is around her because she's an El Salvadoran refugee in
Oh
Australia.
shit. What is she doing
Like,
living in Brisbane?
I think she's actually on the coast now. She's been there. I mean, she's a refugee from like the El Salvadoran Civil War in the early 80s. So she's been in
Mm,
Australia for almost as long as I've been alive.
yeah, right.
She went as a refugee and she stayed, and now she's a storyboard artist and splits her time between
Oh
Australia
wow.
and Malta because her wife is from Malta, so they have places in both Australia and Malta.
Shit, what about us?
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
and she was doing comics in Australia with Eddie Campbell. So like I found Maria because she wrote a letter to Love and Rockets. It was published in issue, I think, 16, and had
Yeah.
just enough identifying. It was a cool enough letter that I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. But had just enough identifying information and talked about how she was going to have a comic coming out soon. That I'm like, oh, I want to see if I can go find her comic. And I didn't find her comic, but I found her. So I
Oh,
went, we try to do all sorts of things around comics. I'm going to see if somebody who had a letter published in Love and Rockets wants to come talk about comics.
hell yeah.
And bless her heart, she did, and enjoyed it enough that she became part of the Love and Rockets book club. So she's now been on the show like 60 times.
Whoa. I mean, that's probably why she's killing it. Like she's
Yeah.
just reaching out and meeting people. It's a secret.
Well, I mean, maybe you don't meet a lot of people. I mean, this is where I say, Tommy, I love that you came here, but if you were hoping to expand your audience, well, say hi, mom, hi, brother Adam, hi, John, hi, Britt. Those are the four people who might go. Well, my mom might get it for a library, so I mean that could expand your audience a little bit. But it's in
Oh, cool,
Iowa,
cool, cool.
so we'll see if she can get it through the board. Though
Oh yeah. I
they
mean,
have ordered some interesting books for her library that she's recommended because of this podcast. So cross your fingers and give
cool.
us the front counter pitch for the past is a grotesque animal.
Like you want the elevator pitch for it?
I mean, if you wanted the elevator pitch, but I think most people sell comic books over a counter, not in elevators.
Oh, true. Well,
That's why
uh,
I call it a front counter pitch. You know, when you're
I
at
like
the
it.
comic shop and you're like, oh, You will like this book. Let me put it in your hands and let me tell you
Mm,
about it.
okay. Okay. I like
Because
that. I like that.
that's a secret sales trick. If you put it in in their hands before you start building it up,
Whoa.
they're even more likely to buy it because they get
Whoa.
to look at the pictures and they get to feel it.
They're already holding it. They might as well buy
And they
it.
have to start worrying about where to put it back. I mean, I try to be the guy that if it seems like they don't want it, I'll say, hey, I can put that back for you. But
Hmm.
there's a subtle, like, it's in my hands. He's making me excited about it. And I'm looking at the pictures and I can feel it.
All right, counter pitch.
Right.
Well, it's a compilation of like 15 years of work, basically. It's
Wait
like
a minute.
something.
I mean, two things here that I was told weren't true about comics. First, that they take years, and second, that their work. I'm being absolutely facetious here.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Comics
mostly,
are really hard work that take a lot of time.
they take a
Anybody,
lot of
let me
time.
make that clear.
I mean, that being said, there were quite a few that were so poorly scanned when I was like 20. They didn't make it in there? Like quite a lot, actually. But for the most part, it's just like a ton of stuff that I made before I was published, when I was still working on how to make comics. Yeah, that like Fantagraphics have been wanting to put together for a long time. And so, yeah, I don't know. I feel weird about it. I feel very much like I make the work and the making process is the point of it. And then I want to move on and do something else. And not talk about it, you know?
Well, okay. What do you want to talk about? I
Well,
mean, if we're done
yeah.
talking about comics,
I've gotten good at talking about it
I mean,
regardless.
I did just talk baseball with Eric Stevenson.
Oh well, I don't know anything about any sport.
Well,
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, I will say that you don't have to know about sports to know about baseball. Baseball doesn't really count as a sport. I mean, I guess it kind of is because people run
Hmm.
sometimes, but it's much more of a game.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll say I don't really know anything about any games. Games or sports. But
Sports.
yeah,
Too
it
busy
was
drawing. I see how it
too,
is. I
too
see how it
busy
is.
drawing. Exactly,
But you don't
exactly.
want to talk about that either. I mean, come on. I
No,
tried to throw you a rope, Tommy.
I'm so happy to talk about it. Yeah, so it was like it sort of documents the process of me working out how to make comics.
Yeah.
And there's some really old ones in there that I'm really proud of, actually. And it's yeah, I don't know. It's I just received the books because it took forever to get them shipped over.
International shipping is a thing. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah.
Apparently tariffs are a whole thing now, which makes it more
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, it's a cool little like thing to own, and I got to have like a bunch of like photos of friends that I put in there as well. Like I wanted it to be a kind of like collage situation. Like I've got some
Um,
diary pages in there.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
I think the question that's popping into my head as I'm flipping through it, um, I think every artist goes through this, but we don't always get to see it.
Mm.
Um, I'm just flipping through pages, but particularly having read your two more recent graphic novels, I can see your style develop. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm going to bring this up specifically because, and I never know quite how to phrase this because I don't mean it in at all like a
That's
negative
fine.
way. You you don't do traditionally pretty art. You have a very
Yeah.
specific style that's not quite ugly either. I mean, there are people who do
Hmm.
ugly art. R. Crumb's kind of the ugly art sometimes.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so it's not quite, but you do a very specific style. You tend towards smaller heads, bigger bodies, androgynous. Um,
Mhm.
but one of the things that I'm seeing going through this book is you also have an accomplished classical art skill set.
Oh.
It's a choice to draw this way. I mean, I've seen too often where people go, oh, like they make cartoons because they can't make real art.
Hmm.
And again, I'm flipping through. You have a couple still lifes in here. You can make real art. So talk about particularly because you've developed a style that seems to be your style. I mean, I'm not going to say that the
Hmm.
next book couldn't wind up being, but you have two complete graphic novels, and I think about half of this is in a particular style. So you
Yeah.
clearly developed that style. Talk about developing the Tommi Parrish style.
I think it was less a choice and more I'm just like always feeling around for like what type of drawing feels the best. Yeah, it's kind of I guess the best way that I can describe it is like, those kids' toys, and you've got like they're like made out of wood, and you've got sort of like, say, a wooden triangle, and you've got a hole that's like that's the shape of the triangle, and then you like put it in its like
Right,
place, and it like
right.
feels really good. It's just kind of like that. Like
Okay.
I did
Though you're
definitely,
just reminding me of my son's first Christmas because
yeah.
Fisher Price makes one of those
Hmm.
where it's like a yellow bucket with a blue top that has the four
Yeah.
shapes. You're supposed to put them in the right spots. And he took the square piece and tried to jam it into the star hole, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
go, and it wouldn't go. So he took the top off and put it in and put the top back on.
Genius.
he,
He's gonna go far,
he was like
basically.
one. No, my son is a father now and is going far. He's doing fantastic. But like
Oh, damn.
I knew that I was in trouble when like at let's see, he was a September baby, so this would have been his second Christmas because he wasn't 3 months old when he did this.
Hmm.
But at
Hmm.
like 15 months old, he's like, yeah, I don't feel like manipulating, but I know another way to solve this problem.
Yeah. I mean, I never got there. I was just like, well, I guess the triangle piece has to go in the triangle hole. So I feel like every other type of art making just felt and continues to feel wrong. Like in
Okay.
a way that's sort of uncomfortable and sort of and like yucky. It's this funny sensory thing. Um, I'm actually in the process of like seeing what it's like to make in like a really different way now.
Okay.
And so like I'm going through a lot of like um yeah, I'm trying to sort of train myself to take the lid off and like put all the pieces in, which has been, yeah, it's been interesting. It's been fun. Um yeah, it's been humbling actually.
I, I love that word. I just because I don't think enough people in the world think about it. I think a lot of cartoonists
Mhm.
do. I think a lot of comic geeks think of humbleness.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
think it's
it's
also
such a
like
beautiful word, but it's
it
not one that
is.
you hear enough.
It's
So
like
I'm being struck
allowing
by the language right now. I'm sorry.
it's like no, no,
Cat
it's
on
like
the lap.
allowing yourself you're allowing yourself to like make bad art, basically.
Yeah.
And like something that I'm spending a lot of time doing at the moment is like I'm like in education with teens specifically. And so there's
Ah,
so
I'm
there's
a
like
high
a
school
lot of
special ed teacher, so I appreciate
oh,
that.
really? Hell
Yes.
yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Sounds like we're doing kind of similar stuff.
Do you also have the kids that get really frustrated when there winds up being more than one step and that one step didn't make it
Yes.
exactly perfectly what they wanted it to be?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's
I hear
like,
that so much. It's like, oh man. I'm like, yeah, no, like you're 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 doing sampling. Sampling involves multiple samples. That means you will need to cut more parts out of this song.
Yeah, there's a lot of like I did some like I do different things like every week and I did sort of like zine folding and there's a lot of like, okay, now you need to fold this. And I'll be like, oh, I need to fold another thing. Like it's
Right,
very
right, right.
yeah, how to
You mean
but like
that first fold wasn't enough?
I know like this is bullshit.
Right. Oh, if
Actually,
I
they'd
had
be
a
more
nickel
they'd
for
swear and
if
they'd
I
walk away
if I had a
sometimes.
nickel for every time I heard this is bullshit.
Yeah, right. You'd never have to work again. But
Um,
I'm like taking what I'm learning from that and I'm like infusing it into my practice. I'm like, okay, so if like I'm trying to create an environment where these like teenagers are like letting themselves learn a new skill, like why am I not allowing myself to do that? So yeah, it's been cool. It's been slow.
excellent.
Yeah.
I'm now looking forward to the next book, even if you don't even know what the next book is yet. And you might not, but like the
Mm.
second I hear anybody's trying something new, I mean, like all of my favorite bands, their new album tends to be my favorite because it's different, and everybody else
Mm.
hates them after their first album because it's different.
Yes. I mean, I am in the process of making the next book, but it's like really slow because I'm like changing things up really intensely. And like, yeah, it's not gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be different and maybe
Yeah.
that'll be a flop, but I don't care.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
like experimentation is what brings greatness.
Mm.
Nobody ever did something great by doing the same thing again.
Yeah, I mean it also
You can be
is
very
like,
entertaining and very fun without
yeah.
taking risks. I don't want to say that like you can't have great art or at least very good art without risk taking.
Mhm.
I mean, particularly storytelling art. But like
Yeah.
the great things had the potential to be terrible things. Does that make
Yeah. I mean,
sense?
and they probably were in the
Yeah,
beginning. Um, Yeah. And I think like what you said is true, but like also, you're the one making things. I'm the one making it. Like I want to be
right.
enjoying it. Um,
That's also
and
important.
exactly. And like, I
That
don't know.
remains everybody, Bob Dylan has famously been on tour for like 40 years now. He calls it his never-ending tour. And there are lots of people who complain because he's got all sorts of sing-along songs, except that you can almost never sing along to them at the shows because he never plays the like you'll be halfway through blowing in the wind before you realize it's blowing in the wind because
Mm,
he did something crazy with it tonight, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but every once in a while, when he deigns to talk to like a reporter or whatnot, he'll say, "I have fun." He won't even talk about it. He's like, "I'll have fun." Why would I play it the same way? I've heard it that way before.
Yeah, probably like about a million times as
Right,
well.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, I've come to realize that some people can, but they have like a very particular brain. Like some people can
right.
do exactly the same thing for ever. Like
And
for
sometimes
decades.
you can even have a mixture of the two.
Hmm.
You know, like my favorite band, if only because I feel like not only is every new album different, every new album feels like it was made for me at the age I am when it comes out. So I feel like I've really
Convenient.
grown up with them. Is
Yeah.
Pearl Jam, and I their live shows are phenomenal. But one of the reasons they're phenomenal is that like if you're not really paying attention, they do play their songs the same. You can sing along to everything, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
But if you're
Hmm.
paying attention, you start to see that they have all sorts of spots that are different every night.
Mm. It's
where
crucial.
they're
It's like,
always just noodling around, where they're messing, yep, we play this song every other show, but this part of it is different every freaking time.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I mean, messing it up, as in like messing around with things, it's like the
Yeah.
secret to sustainability as an artist,
Sometimes
I think.
messing it up is also, I mean, like my favorite live version of what's probably their most famous song,
Mm.
Alive, is the night that they fucked it up.
Hmm.
It was in, was it Lisbon in 2000? I forget, it was somewhere in Spain in 2000. They fuck it up. And like in the middle of the song, Eddie's going, "Yeah, we haven't played this song that many times before. We might have had a lot of hash last night." So much for being a professional rock band.
I mean, it's also
But then they
humanizing.
find their groove again and
Yeah.
kill it to end it. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
we
yeah.
realized we fucked up, so we're gonna mess around with the audience for a minute while we reset, and bam.
Mm. I mean, I've got a theory that fucking it up, I didn't know if I could swear on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, amazing, because I love swearing.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a theory that like fucking it up, if you do it with intention, like it just becomes part of the thing, you know?
Right.
It like adds to the texture of the thing.
And even if the intention isn't, it can be intention after the fact, I guess is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
go, rather than scrapping this page, rather than whiting this out, I'm going to take this line that wasn't quite right and I'm going to make it right
Mm.
by changing what I'm putting around it rather than by changing the line. To put it
Yeah.
back into comic terms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually think it takes a lot of practice to have that much
Yeah.
faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm
you know,
always in
yeah,
awe when I'm at cons and seeing people work just straight in ink.
I know it's fucked.
And it's like,
Crazy.
but being able to do these insane things. Um, so I'm going to have you give counter pitches for your other books in a minute, but first I'm going to ask one of those questions that I ask a lot because I feel like it's going to
Mm,
be a good question for you. Give me your
mhm,
comics biography, not your comics bibliography. Like I said, we'll get into that. Your comics
mhm,
biography. Start with the earliest comics you remember reading, the ones that made you fall in love with comics, the ones that made you decide to be a cartoonist. Give me
mhm.
names, give me artists, give me your experience through comics. What made this such a big part of your life?
Sure. Let's see if I hopefully I can remember the names.
That's
I
it's always
remember.
a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. I
10,000
remember.
comics down the road.
Yeah, totally. I got into them kind of late actually because I always made art, but I didn't like connect it with making comics until I was in my like early 20s and I'm
Okay.
36
But
now.
did you read comics before that?
No.
No. Oh, wow. You're
Yeah, I
one of
mean
those. I mean, it
that's
happens every once in a while, but
yeah.
wow.
That's why
Not
they're
it.
kind of weird, you know, because I
Right.
don't have like a formal background with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember tracing the like Wolverine comics when I was in primary school, but I got into comics through like Hot Potato, you know, Old Mate.
Hot
Oh,
potato?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't
What's
actually
his
know
name?
this one.
Da, 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 da. Oh no, I'm typing it in. You know
Hot
what?
potatoes.
I'm just gonna go into my room and look at my bloody bookcase.
Is it Mark Bell?
Yes, it's Mark
Okay.
Bell. Yeah,
Hot
so Mark, I
potato.
got
I'm
into
looking at it.
comics
Drawn and
through Mark
quarterly.
Bell. Um, like he was like hugely influential. And I made stuff that looked a lot like his stuff, where I tried to anyway for a while. Um, and then it led on to Dash Shaw,
Okay.
whose work I like absolutely adored for the
I'm
longest
a
time.
big fan of Dash Shaw.
You're a fan? Yeah.
I am.
I I haven't read so much of his like newer stuff. It's more like Bottomless Belly Button and things like this.
Bottomless Belly Button is fantastic, but his last few books have been. New York Review of Books had a sale recently, so I finally managed to pick up some of his more recent ones that
Hmm.
just hadn't been as many in as many of the shops that I was at.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they were good. And I can't remember their titles right now. I'd have to go find them on the shelf.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most recent one I've seen of his is New School, which I really loved.
New School was good. Um,
Yeah. I really
but
loved
there
like
was
what
which
he's
was
doing with
the
it.
oh the here's the one that I really loved recently was of course that's Blurry was the name of the
I don't know
book.
about that one.
Yeah, it came out might have been either last yeah 2024.
Oh
So
shit.
last year. Yeah,
Busy Bean.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I think he was the last person that I was like a super fan over before I got like a little more jaded. Um, yeah,
What?
I yeah, I mean
Jaded?
jaded's like
Now,
just tired.
is it jaded or is it now that you're in the scene and the people that you were super super fans of are just friends? It,
Mm.
you're
Yeah,
not
I'm
as
like
much of a super fan as much as you're a oh my buddy Dash made this comic.
yeah, I mean, I don't really know Dash very well, but I definitely say that now I'm in the scene. I'm like, oh, that's just a guy. Um, which I think is like a
I
much
yeah,
healthier attitude to
I was
have.
using Dash as an example, but
Hmm.
another one of the questions, and this is a later questions, but I'll let you know about it so that you know you can think about it. If you what
Hmm.
is I've been asking is like tell me you know in my 4 years of podcasting, I have become like texting buzzies, go to the baseball game or dinner when they're in town, friends with people that like young me would have gone, you're gonna know so and so? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I have all of these surreal life experiences on almost a daily basis, but some of them
Mm,
bigger ones. Um, and I've discovered that that's true of everybody in comics. There's nobody I can ask this question of that
yeah.
won't like I've asked this of Eisner Hall of Famers, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, there was that time in the elevator with Will Eisner,
Yeah, because everyone's just a guy.
right?"
Um,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely. It's like, you can, I feel like meeting those people, I'm like, oh, you have like this extra level of success.
right.
Um, and there are always the people that have like actually gone into sort of Hollywood adjacent things. But for the
Yeah.
most part,
Sometimes.
yeah, very occasionally,
I mean,
very occasionally.
I mean, meeting Matt Madden was a big deal to me. I'm not always,
Mm,
I'm a weird guy. They don't always have to be like superstar successful for me to be like surreally want to meet them. Sometimes they can just
yeah.
have made things that I'm like, oh my God, this is
Yeah,
pretty.
it's special. I feel quite like that about like Julian Tamaki.
Right.
Um, like I hung out with like Charles Burns and I managed to
Oh,
like
see,
I managed to
I
charm him in
was
a
at
bit. Like,
CXC this year and I
yeah.
didn't manage to introduce myself to Charles Burns. I tried a couple of times and didn't quite pull it off. Next
Yeah.
time.
Next time, exactly.
I mean,
I really want to
I
meet
know
Linda
friends of
Barry.
his.
Nice.
That's how I
Um,
managed to introduce myself to Art Spiegelman last year. Is I'm like, my
oh,
friend Bob said I could drop his name.
nice, nice, nice. Was he vaping?
Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Of course he
Uh,
was.
I guess like another person that's a really big deal. I'm just looking at my bookcase now. Is Olivia Schrowen, whose work I absolutely love.
Do I? Oh,
Yeah.
Olivier Schwartz. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, it's funny because the Bob that I just mentioned is Bob
Mm.
Sikoriak, who was the first person that told me about Olivier Schwartz on this
Ah.
podcast, like, God, 4 years ago. He was one of our
Oh,
first
damn.
guests. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that
he's
was one that had flown under my radar until Bob's like, "Oh, I've really been as the answer to a question that I will ask later." He told me that he'd been just completely devouring everything that he could get his hands on from Olivier
yeah, his
Schwartz.
stuff is amazing and
Yeah.
he's just a total weirdo. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Weirdos in comics?
It's
Really?
crazy.
Really? I've never met any weirdos in comics.
I wonder if it's a bit different for the European cartoonists though. It's just, I don't know, it seems like a really different landscape.
It
Um,
does.
mhm,
Among other things, I think they're somehow both more appreciated and not as well paid, but they don't need to be as well
mhm.
paid because they have health care and college paid for.
Yes, and so many grants.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, so many grants.
Because it's like some of the European comic people I know work almost exclusively on American comics because they pay way better.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean,
it's clear that by and large, France and Belgium in particular appreciate their comic artists a lot more than we do.
mhm.
Doesn't seem like anybody's like, oh, you read comics? What? You didn't get out of kindergarten?
Speaking of working with teenagers, that's certainly what they think about comics.
It is and it isn't though, because my wife is an art teacher, middle
Oh yeah.
school. And so she will start off her classes by asking, tell me your favorite blank. And
Hmm.
I remember one day she came home and she's like, I was so disappointed. I asked them all what their favorite comic was, and they were like, oh, we don't read comics. But then the
Yeah.
next day she came home and she's like, you'll never believe what happened when I asked them what their favorite book was. And I'm like, no, what happened? Like, are they into something crazy? Catcher in the Rye, some amazing book that you're amazed that it's like, no, half of them listed something by Raina Telgemeier. And I went, I thought you didn't like comics. And they're like, that's a comic. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, we just thought it was a book. So like to a certain extent, to the kids, at least in the United States, if you say
Mm.
comics, they think floppy superheroes.
Mhm, mhm.
So you don't make comics, you make books.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'll make sure that I tell people that I mean, I usually just say that I make books.
Right.
But it definitely has like a different like gravity, doesn't it?
I mean, I do actually. The kid didn't believe me when he picked it out. There was a kid who picked out Linda Barry's 1,000 Demons for his
Mm.
free reading book in an English class that I was involved in. And I said, you can pick that out, but if you think you're picking it out because it's an easier read and you're not going to have to do as much, you're out of your mind. And I
Hmm.
have read it, so you're not going to skate by. And I don't think he believed me that I'd read it until he was working on the paper. And I'm like, so what's this book around? Oh, it's about demons. I'm like, try again.
I
Okay,
mean, it's
let's read
great.
it.
It's great that they're in schools because I feel like if there's, I'm gonna walk away from my bookshelf
Oh,
now.
yeah, that's fine.
Because I feel
I
like if
love
there's
it when
any,
I love it when I get to have the walk and talk interviews. And Nasenti did
yeah.
that with me too.
Like I feel like if there's any book that's gonna make someone like excited about learning, it's gonna be something by Linda Barry.
Oh yeah. Linda
Yeah.
Barry is she's on my bucket list
Yeah.
or my white whale list and she's in Wisconsin, so like I'm close. I gotta reach out to Linda Barry.
She's a big
Um,
deal. She just won a big deal award,
did she? Which one did she win?
the MacArthur Genius Award.
Did she?
She did,
I missed that.
which is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
She's
that
someone
that
whose
makes
work that makes
that
sense,
makes
right?
yeah, it not only makes sense, but I mean, he's not thought of as a comic book guy, but like Ta-Nehisi Coates got a MacArthur Genius Award too, and he wrote Captain America
Hmm.
and Black Panther, so like makes two comic book people at least with MacArthur Genius Awards.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, like her work I've been looking at a lot while I've been
Yeah.
sort of working out what the next step is because she's so like incredible at like shepherding people
Yeah.
into sort of expanding their ideas out.
Of what comics can be, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. What creativity
I
can be.
mean, right. No, syllabus and making comics are both fantastic, fantastic. Like, I mean, I mentioned before we started that a friend of mine just bought a comic shop, and like, I
Mm-hmm.
know one of the things that we want to do in terms of outreach is like set up tables and have maker days where we have people
Yes.
come in to do like mini zines and whatnot, and I imagine having like sections right next to each other that like one part of it is like Scott McCloud understanding comics and making comics and with Raina Telgemeier, the new Cartoonist Club, which if you're making comics with younger people and you haven't read Cartoonist Club yet, you totally should because
I'm gonna look it up right
it
now. The Cartoonist
it's
Club.
it's Raina Telgemeier and Scott McCloud working together on a middle grade graphic novel about kids making
Ooh,
comics.
cool.
So imagine understanding comics as a Raina Telgemeier graphic novel, and you pretty much have Cartoonist Club.
Oh, cool. And it's like informational. I just looked it
Yes,
up.
it's both because
Awesome.
it's like the story about middle school kids. So it has the middle school stuff going on and kind of the drama
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
whatnot. Kind of like drama was about putting on a middle school play, right? It's about starting
Yeah.
a club and being cartoonists together. But it's also got Scott McCloud providing the stuff on like they make the classic. I think him as McCloud mini comics, even though he's not the one that came up with them initially, I'm certain. But in Understanding Comics, he talks about fold the paper right, and you can have an 8 page comic. One page
Yeah.
draw.
Yeah.
They show you
Yeah.
how to make those
Oh,
in the thing.
nice.
They talk about how the quality of the art isn't the most important thing because like there's
Yeah.
one serious artist and there are a couple kids that are just all about let's go. And like they spend an hour making their comics, and like the one is all frustrated because all she got done was a dragon's head, but it's like the best dragon's
Hmm.
head ever. And the others, they got their whole comic done, but it's like stick figures. And she's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
loving theirs because they've got a story, and they're like, "What are you talking about? Look at that!"
Oh, wow.
So
I'll
it's
absolutely need to look it
yeah, it's
up.
it's all about both making comics and about there not being rules to making comics.
Cool. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
We have the guy who bought the comic shop's also a psychologist, and one of the book clubs we do is what we call the Joy, Resistance, Hope, and Survival Book Club and Support Group once a
Oh,
month on
wow.
22 panels. And this was our last book, and like a couple of the psychologists almost rolled their eyes at me when I put my foot down and said we were finally doing it because they're like, "We're going to read a kid's book." I'm like, "Yes, we are. Yes, we are." And talk to me in a month. And
And
it
did they love it?
not only did they love it, but like he's like that's when he realized that his daughter had been reading Raina Telgemeier. His daughter's in her 20s now, but she'd been reading her since the beginning. So he like went raiding the bookshelf, and how did I not know that these books were good? I bought them because it's like I like comics, you're reading comics, great.
Yeah. Ah, also, what a special thing that you run. That sounds like beautiful.
I do my best. We got a small audience, but we do cool stuff. One of these, they're all
Yeah.
evergreen. So, one
Yeah.
day people actually, the most fun thing for me is like once a month, I will notice that we have a week with like 500 downloads. And if you go through, it's somebody downloaded like 500 different episodes. Like you look at it and it's like there's like 500 downloads from one location. And it's like, okay, somebody discovered us, liked us, and went through and grabbed every interview or roundtable that looked cool all at once. And that just makes me feel happy. Really makes me happy when it's overseas, which is a chance because you're in Australia, which means I'm gonna get an Australia bump on this
Yeah.
episode. I have
Yeah.
noticed that that is always the way it works. When I talk to somebody wherever, I get a bump.
Well, I'll make sure I share it as well and get it out
Ah,
there.
I'm all for that. I'm all for
Yeah.
that.
Speaking
Um,
of sharing it and getting it out there, well, it's not really about this, but probably
about
I have
whatever.
like another 10 or 15 minutes
Oh,
before I need to run away.
oh, you
Is
got
there
to run
are there,
away in
spe-
10 or 15 minutes. Well,
are
well,
there
then,
specific things you want us to talk about?
yeah, I'm going to ask you the most important question,
Okay.
and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay.
Um, and that is, tell me something you love,
Mm-hmm.
preferably a comic, but there aren't any rules.
Yeah.
Preferably storytelling, but again with the rules. But something
Mm-hmm.
that you love that not enough people around you have experienced and you want them to
Mm-hmm.
so that you have more people to talk about it with.
Whoa, that's a great question. Um, 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 let me think. Let me think. Uh, I really, really, really love the author Carmen Maria Machado. Um, and I know in America a lot of people know about her. I'm not too sure how many people know about her here. Actually, no, Andrea Lawler. No, no, I'm going to change it.
You
Wait,
can
yeah,
do
Andrea
both. You
Lawler.
can you can do more than one. So so Carmen Ray Machado, is that what you said first?
Carmen Maria Machado. She's a a queer author who does sort of kind of weirdo types of writing. And just like, I don't know, I've read her stuff a lot and I always find it really like affecting. And
And
kind
she
of
did a
just like,
comic.
did she do a comic? I didn't know that.
Part of Joe Hill's line at DC,
Oh,
the
wow.
low, low woods,
Whoa,
which I heard
cool.
good things about, but I hadn't actually read with Danny doing the art.
Well, she's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
And she's done like a bunch of short stories, which is like an easier sort of like entry point. Um, and yeah, I highly, highly recommend people like look into her and look into the work that she's done.
Okay. So
Um,
Carmen Maria Machado, and you gave me another author there.
so another author, another cartoonist, I'm going to change my answer, is
Okay.
Leomi Sandler, who lives in the UK and is like is a cartoonist, but also a printer and like
What is this?
mixed up with textiles.
Laomi what?
Leomi Sandler.
Sadler?
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't see, I love it when people actually give me ones that I don't know as well. So
Yeah. I love her
I am
work.
psyched to I can definitely see some Linda Berry uh
Mm.
influence just looking at some of her covers here.
Yeah, I did a residency with her in with Colorama in Berlin a couple of years
Okay.
ago. And it was really exciting to meet her because I'm just a big fan.
It's always fun to meet it's fun to meet people that you're fans of. It's even cooler when like you like hit it off and you get to just talk about stuff, not just like
Yeah.
comics and their stuff, but like when you find yourself sharing like stories about your kids and your pets, then you know that A, they're human, and B, you're friends.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely human. But yeah,
Well, and
she's great.
if she wasn't, that'd be okay too. I'd love to meet an alien.
Yeah, to mix things up.
I mean, there's got to be one around here, and if there was, you know they'd be a cartoonist.
Yes, or an animator, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Possibly
Yeah.
music theater.
Oh God. Yeah.
That was actually the last podcast. There's an adaptation of Patrick McDonald's Mutts.
Oh,
The story, the Gift of Nothing, was made into a stage play 10 years ago that's being put on again in
oh wow.
Marin right now. So yeah, that's why that was in my head. Musical theater. Howard
I'm
Chaykin also
actually
once loves musical theater and calls musical theater and comics the two great American art forms. I emphasize great because on the last episode, the playwright there pointed out that he's bastardizing, there are five Native American art forms, and it's banjo, jazz, musical theater, comics, and I forget what the other one was. I'm like, no, he didn't say Native American. He said great. I don't necessarily agree with him that the other ones aren't great, but I don't. This is Howard Chaykin. I don't think it was an accident.
I'm doing my master's at the moment, which is a whole weird thing, but there's it's an art school that has like musical theater as one of
Okay.
its things that people go there for. And my God, the amount of confidence that those 20-year-olds have is like really
My
extraordinary.
my
It's
best
mind blowing.
my best friend has a master's in music theater, and
No shit.
like uh, I don't think I saw her be truly vulnerable more than a couple of times before she was in her 30s.
Yeah.
And
Does she?
I was like her best friend. I was one of the few people that she would be vulnerable
Yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah. Does she just break into song randomly? Because
Not
these
as much
people
now.
definitely do.
Yeah, not
This
as
puts,
much
yeah,
now, but then definitely, I mean, in high school, oh my God. She'd sing
yeah,
down the hallway.
yeah. It's wild to watch,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. So yeah, I fuck with musical theater.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, though Howard made a good point, and I can't believe I'm saying the same thing on two podcasts. I should like remind myself not to repeat myself this quickly, but whatever.
Whatever.
Um, both comics and musical theater are taking two other forms of art and intertwining them in a very base level where you can't
Mm.
fully understand and experience the story without experiencing both, without being good at
Ooh.
both. Yeah.
Wait, explain that without being good at both.
Well, like music theater, like good music theater, you got to have
Mm.
good songs and you have good storytelling through the songs, but it's got to be a
Yeah.
good play. You've got to have
Yeah.
good acting. You've got to have good stagecraft. You've got to have good scenes that don't have songs,
Yes.
right? And with comics, you can get away a little bit with worse writing sometimes,
Hmm.
but only if you don't consider that part of the only if you don't consider like layout part of the writing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
True. Yeah, yeah.
um, so you have to combine like prose type storytelling with
I see
real
what you
art
mean.
skills
Yeah.
to make this other thing that's better than either, or
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least has a
yeah.
great potential to be better than either. Um,
Oh, I love that.
and interacts with the audience on multiple levels. I mean, because we interact
Hmm.
with music so differently than we interact with words. I mean,
Yeah,
don't get me
yeah,
wrong.
we do.
I love non-musical theater, right? But there's a different feeling, even in musical theater, to the way you interact to the non-music scene versus
Hmm.
the music scene. And then there's crazy things like how do you work sometimes? I mean, sometimes with music theater, you have a pit, and you've got an orchestra there. Sometimes with music theater, you've got piped in music to go along with the numbers. Every
Hmm.
once in a while, it'll be a cappella, but like sometimes it'll be you have one of the characters play the music.
Yeah.
I mean, this all came up because in talking about mutts, the theater guy that I brought to be part of the conversation so that I wouldn't feel like I didn't know what questions to ask, brought up that like one of the characters plays drums. He's like, I don't remember that in any of the comic strips, and the actor immediately laughed. He's like, yeah, that was really because we wanted to work as many of the instruments onto the stage as possible.
Mm-hmm, hmm,
And it
hmm.
doesn't say anywhere that Frank doesn't play drums. Um, and I think there are elements of that with comics too. Like you you're drawing pictures to tell a story, but sometimes you also will fall in love with a picture or want to draw something that you then tell the story around.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I feel like often I want to draw something and so I'll try and integrate it into like a narrative
Right.
somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, with cartoonists, the people who do both, that happens a ton. But even sometimes when I'm talking to teams, it'll be like whole plot lines will change because of the way a page got drawn. It's like, oh, I like that. I mean, not generally huge plot lines, but every once in a while, it's like, oh no, this is way better than what I had
Yeah,
imagined.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You sound like a good teacher.
We got to play with this. Tommy, thank you so much. It has been a blast. We'll have to talk again when this next book comes out or anytime in between, whatever. It's actually pretty easy to set up a call with Australia because you're 14 hours different, which means that either it's
Something like that.
evening. No, it is 14
Okay.
hours different. It's 11 a.m. for you right now, right?
No, it's 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Then it's not 14 hours different because it's 9 o'clock for me. So 6. Okay, whatever. It's enough different that your
Yeah,
your evening is my morning is your evening. It's
exactly.
much easier than doing the transatlantic. Those are the
Yeah.
hard, like Paris, hard. Tokyo, Brisbane, no problem.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
There are like you can find blocks of time where it's perfect. Like
right,
your night, my morning. I guess it's
right.
afternoon, but yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so it's 2 p.m. So
Hmm.
that'd be 17 hours ahead of me.
2
Because
p.m. on Friday.
I'm 9 p.m. Thursday night. So yeah, it's
It's
been a blast.
bedtime.
And
Yeah.
enjoy. Well, actually, wait a minute. If you have a moment, we forgot to do the front counter pitches for your other two books,
Oh shit.
and they're so
Okay.
good that if you can, it would be great.
Yeah. All right. Let me think. So the line, how we told it, is about two old friends that like meet by accident and they're sort of like unpacking each other's lives and sort of like looking at like as they end up kind of walking around together and you sort of like you slowly start to like see the ways that they're entwined, the reasons that they stopped like hanging out. And there's a book within that book that's sort of like telling like a parallel story which
Mhm.
I got from oh my God, which I got from another comic that really famously does that, of which the name I can't remember right now.
Well, this
Whoops.
is this is where I'll say the great line that some people say is from Shakespeare, and it
Hmm.
might not be. is, good writers borrow liberally from other writers, and great
Oh
writers
yeah.
steal things outright.
Everything's from something,
Yeah.
nothing's new, which is great.
Yeah. The
Um,
last original thing was fire.
exactly. I don't know. I feel like the wheel was pretty original, but that was a while ago now as
I,
well.
I mean, I mean, but was it? Because there were rocks.
True, true. Um, and so and Men I Trust, what was that about? That's about a single mother and like someone that like a like a fan that meets her and sort of like becomes obsessed with her and gets kind of like stalky about it and stuff. And it's yeah, it's about the way that their like lives like become like entwined and then sort of like get like torn apart. I talk a lot about like class and sexuality and like parenthood. Not that I'm a parent, thank God. Um,
I,
but
I
yeah,
would, in some ways, I'd love to say that you're not missing anything, but I kind of liked being a parent, which doesn't mean that I actually recommend it to anybody
yeah,
unless they like, yeah, it's a weird
mm,
thing.
yeah. It's not for me, but
That's
I
okay.
love it. I love it for other people.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tommy. For Tommi Parrish, this has been 22 panels. We will see you after the next page.